Hello everyone, and welcome to the Tinmore Podcast, where we don't unbox, clickbait, we talk about every single Tintin book in the series, and we have a bunch of bloopers, so get ready for those. Depends on how weird Mecha's editing program is. But yeah, I'm joined by the two usual people, Mecha, that's him, and Milhai.
That's me.
That's him. And we will explore today, this Wednesday. It's actually not Wednesday. The Blue Lotus of Tintin. Roll the intro.
We still don't have one so.
Put that on the bucket list. We need an intro.
Yeah.
By the way, if nobody heard last time, Melku is a furry. Okay, let's start.
Mm.
You said it yourself. Don't hide.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, to everyone listening, those two people, that's a joke. If you did not listen to the last, wait, the last episode hasn't come out yet. Okay, just listen to the last episode, Ferraries, Cigarees. Make a translate that to English, please.
Cigars of the Pharaoh.
That word. If you're up to date and it hasn't come out yet, blame Mecha. It's not my fault.
Come on, Koso.
Cyberbully. Yeah, okay. Let's just jump into it. Like and subscribe.
Who wants to start?
You start. Bamboozled.
Okay. So it starts out right where Cigars of the Pharaoh left off, and Tintin is in the palace of the Maharaja of Guy Pajama. You see like the outside, and then the next panel is like Snowy sleeping on a bunch of pillows. He's so pampered, and he goes, I can't get any sleep because Tintin like has gotten into shortwave radio, and it's just so loud. And you see like these weird noises coming from the radio.
Tweet.
It's like our problems
Yeah.
are technical.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, I thought you meant mental problems.
Yes, that's what my brain sounds like all the time.
What?
Yeah. So you see Tintin, he's like messing with the radio, and he gets like this signal, and he's like, there it is again, that station I've been trying to identify. Like a Morse code message, and he writes it down. He goes, this doesn't make any sense. I have no clue what it could mean. And so, direct special attention, Yokohama urgently, going oddly slow, Istanbul 10 nasty gaps in Saturday, Tibetan medicine easily changes west. I don't know that last word, thanks. And it's just a bunch of nonsense, basically.
We should get a t-shirt where it says nasty gaps.
Yes.
Nasty. Yes.
Yeah. So Tintin's like, this has to have some meaning, but I don't know what it is. Talking to himself about his theories about it. And this servant comes in. He's like, oh, Tintin, the Maharaja requests your presence. And he's like, oh, thank you, I'll come. And so he goes to the Maharaja, and the Maharaja's like, Tintin, I've asked this famous fakir to demonstrate his remarkable powers. And Tintin's like, oh, well, I'm curious to see him. Snowy goes, I'm not. I remember the last one. And
the fakir's name is Sipasal Luvishny. That sounds a bit Russian. Is it just me?
no, it does sound Russian. In my version, his name is Ramacharma or something.
Yeah.
But
Important stuff.
But But Sebastian Lubishini sounds better.
Mm-hmm.
The American names are wrong.
Yeah. So the guy does this thing. He's like stepping on broken glass and stabbing knives through himself and on and stuff. And Tintin goes, "Wow, that's amazing." The Maharaja's like, "I know, right?" And so Fakir's like, "Now, if you'll permit me, I'll read the secrets of the future." And the Maharaja's like, "Yeah, sure." Him to sit down, and he's like, "Oh, thanks." And the moment he sits down, he like shrieks and like jumps up. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I sat on a cushion," and his next line is, "Forgive me, I have sensitive skin." And so he just ends up sitting on like this bed of nails, of course. And
I wonder if
to
that's from
Tintin, he's like,
IKEA.
IKEA furniture.
Spiked mattresses.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite thing from IKEA.
Yep.
Yeah. So he like reads Tintin's future. He's like, "Oh, you have a taste for adventure and you've already faced great danger." "Oh, well, this doesn't look good." He says, "I see an enemy. You think him dead, but he plans on revenge.
Hmm.
Be on your guard." I also see a fakir who is like he's like dedicated to seeing you beaten and stuff. "I see another man." And it gets a bit racist because he says a man with yellow skin, which that's a big no-no actually. So
Demonetized.
so he's like, it's a guy with yellow skin and black hair and glasses. He goes, "Take care, he is sworn to destroy you." And then immediately someone comes up to Tintin. He's like, "There's a stranger from Shanghai to see you." And Tintin's like, "That's very far. It must be
But
super important." Hmm?
like, isn't it a big like shot to like say a man, an Asian, not judging anyone, with black hair, and did you say he comes from Shanghai?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he said something else, and
Uh,
glasses. Yeah, like isn't that like the majority of like Asians like having black hair? I don't know, but
yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
don't know.
like yeah.
So Tintin meets with the guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, are you Tintin?" He's like, yeah." And Tintin sees this guy. It's like Japanese guy, and he's immediately suspicious because of what the fakir said. And the guy, he says, "I have something extremely important to tell you. Can we talk?" And Tintin's
No,
like, "Oh yeah, we're alone here."
friend zone.
Yeah. And then immediately this guy gets hit with a dart. Oh crap. It's a dart with the poison of madness on it. Runs up to the railing because there's outside on like a balcony or whatever. And he pulls his gun. He's like, "Oh man, that guy's gone." And he didn't waste any time, did he? The guy who came to see him, he's like, "You had to tell me what you came here for." And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I remember. Mitsuhirato. Someone needs you in Shanghai." And then he tells Tintin to remember the name Mitsuhirato.
Mitsuhirato.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that they like at the palace they have like like they have a lot of money, but they haven't like it made it so it's like dart friendly, so like nobody can actually shoot through it.
That's a good point.
Also,
I mean,
like
to be fair, they are like side,
uh,
so
yeah, like in the last book when the emperor guy he like got shot, but it was just a pillow thing. Like, why didn't they like reinforce the like window?
I
Isn't it
it's
super obvious they would shoot him in his sleep?
it's because
Yeah.
the guy went to prison, so they're probably like, "Oh, we don't have to worry about that guy anymore."
I guess.
but clearly they do. Yeah. So after the guy finishes telling Tintin Mitsuhirato, Tintin's like, oh yeah, and what else is there? And then the guy starts singing, and Tintin's like, oh, well, he's gone. Tintin! And it's the Maharaja, and he's like, the other guy, the one we sent to prison with the poison, he escaped. And Tintin's like, yeah, I know. And he points to like the guy who came to visit him. And the Maharaja's like, oh yeah, that sucks. And so Tintin decides that he's going to go to Shanghai because the guy said he was needed there. Packs all his stuff in like this huge trunk. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, how would he? Why does he need all that?
Oh, probably because he's got a lot of stuff. But
Yeah.
Is that a pot? Is that just like a random flower pot?
You need a
I
flower
don't
pot.
know actually.
Like
What?
he keeps like a saw with him at every time, and like has a spare gun with him.
Yeah.
Knows what he has.
Don't judge.
He doesn't bring guns on vacation.
Yeah, come on.
Really has to though, because like he's constantly in danger.
Yeah.
So he closes like his ginormous trunk, and he's like, oh, well, where's Snowy? And he's like calling for Snowy, looking for him. They look for Snowy for hours later, and the Maharaja's like, oh, they're bringing your trunk down. Have you really made up your mind to go? And Tintin's like, well, yes, but actually, no. I can't go without Snowy.
Well, but actually, no.
So the guy's like bringing down his trunk, and he like trips on the stairs, and all Tintin's stuff flies everywhere. And it turns out that Snowy was just in Tintin's trunk because the air. And he's like, oh well, now we can go though. So
Well,
they
I
and it's sometime.
accidentally buried my dog. Not clickbait.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like
Poor Snowy.
in his like suitcase or trunk, you called it, like in the
Mhm.
background of the pile, like the radio's in there.
Yeah.
Why would he take that with him?
He can't just leave it.
Yeah, but he said like he's going to Shanghai, like he was going to come back sometime.
Yeah. Well, I think because he's already been there a while, and he's probably like, well, now's as good a time as any to leave.
But why
and
would he
stuff.
take his like giant radio with him? Was like not suitable for traveling in a busy town like Shanghai with a radio.
I don't know. It broken too, like honestly.
Yeah.
Tintin gets to Shanghai. As Tintin's like walking off the boat, he has like this picture of Tintin. Looking, I just want to put that out there. And he goes, "That's him. That's Tintin, all right." And he like, so Tintin gets to his hotel, and he's like, Mitsuhirato. That he's like, where do we find that guy? It's certainly a Japanese name. And knock on the door, and he's like, oh, come in. And it's a letter. And Tintin's like, that's weird. How does anybody know I'm here yet? Letter, and it's like, oh, well, we heard you were in town, and we're so glad. So just like over later, basically. And it's from Mitsuhirato. And Tintin's like, well, guess I don't have to find him anymore. And he's like in the bathroom straightening his tie, or putting it on, I guess, but he's like, that's weird how he knew I was here. But anyways, he has great manners. Tintin like leaves to go visit Mitsuhirato, and he's like traveling through Shanghai on like a rickshaw, And I just love the picture of the town because it's so like beautiful and full of life and stuff.
Yeah.
it's so detailed too.
This book is
And,
my
like,
this book is my favorite
yeah.
anime.
Look at those letters.
Are you sure it's letters? The letters.
Oh, Chinese letters.
But
Yeah.
that's just necessary.
Yeah, so the guy who's carrying Tintin's rickshaw accidentally runs into this guy because this guy just like pops out of nowhere like some horror movie villain. The guy they ran into gets like super mad at the guy and starts to like hit him. And Tintin charges and he like breaks the guy's walking stick. He's like, "You brute! How dare you stop me from punishing that guy, you useless jerk!" And Tintin's like, "You're a disgrace." And Tintin like leaves. Hear more of this, you busybody. And you see the guy, he like goes into this private club. They're like, "Oh, hey Gibbons, what's up?" And they're like, "You look ticked off." And it's like, "Yeah, I'm ticked off. Can you believe this? Some European kid had the nerve to back up some rickshaw boy."
Boy.
I don't know. That doesn't look like a boy to me.
Well, depends.
Yeah. Super ticked off. And he's like, "What's this world coming to? Can't we beat up native people for not being..."
No t-shirt. Can we beat up native people?
No!
Yeah. What a guy.
What's the world coming to?
Can we beat up native people? What a question. Q&A. Can you beat up native people?
The answer to that is no. Please don't. This is like from 30s or 40s or whatever. So like this was less, I guess, or like, you know.
Yeah.
But the guy is basically like super racist, like, "Oh, we're the best and we have to civilize them and stuff." And it's just the worst. Guys, you see this like waiter coming with a tray, and Gibbons like knocks it over and yells at the guy, "On purpose, I'll teach you a lesson for that." And then I guess he like beats him up and then gets back to his conversation and it's like
That's fine. Yeah.
he has no problems beating up the natives.
Can we beat up the natives?
No. So
Like tourists coming from like a plane. Can we beat up the natives?
oh no.
Hey mom, can we beat up the natives? Yes.
Oh dear. Yeah. So one of Gibbons' friends, he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll find that guy since I'm the chief of police for the Shanghai International Settlement." That guy a lesson. And it cuts back to Tintin. It's like, "Oh, thank you for saving me." And Tintin's basically just like, "No, don't worry about it." And he walks into this shop and shown in. And it's this guy. He's like, "Oh, Tintin, you have to go back to India. The Maharaja's in great danger. I sent a Chinese messenger to tell you to guard the Maharaja. Didn't you see him?" And Tintin's like, "Well, yeah, but then he went crazy." So it's Mitsu Hirato. He's like, "Oh, those horrible people, they'll stop at nothing." And he's like, "You need to go back because then they will get the Maharaja and who knows what they'll do in your absence." Who are they? And Mitsu Hirato is like, "No, I can't tell you anymore. It'll be a danger to my life." And he like begs Tintin to go back to India. Tintin's like, oh, thanks. I'll take the next boat back. He says, like, I'll telegraph the Maharaja to be on his guard and stuff. And Mitsuhirato's like, oh, that's a great plan. Tells Tintin, like, beware of everyone here, though, especially the Chinese. Great, thanks, Mitsuhirato. And then he says, like, your life hangs by a thread. How do you know that? And he says, oh, I know everything because I'm Japanese, and that's... okay.
Can't wait to go to
Interesting.
negatives.
No, because they'll see you coming.
Hmm.
They know everything.
Yeah. And the same guy, when Tintin walks out, like, the same guy standing outside the shop.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I just noticed that.
With his blue clothes and white, red, black helmet. Hat. Whatever that is.
So Tintin leaves, and
Oops.
you see this guy that's like following Tintin from the shop, and Tintin's like just walking through the streets, and he goes, this place is a bit seedy, isn't it? And Snowy's like, yeah, I think I'll agree with you on that one. Pop out from around the corner, and he tackles Tintin, and then this car drives by, and they're firing at them. And the driver's like, or the person in the car is like, oh, we missed him. But they keep going. Tackle Tintin, like, runs off, and Tintin has no idea what just happened. He goes, what was that all about? Well, I guess that guy just saved my life. And
whoops, just got saved.
He just goes back to the hotel after this and orders tea. And because that's what I do after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got
Pouring
shot.
the tea.
Whatever. Going to kill some natives.
No killing.
That was an escalation, Koso.
We've been like demonetized like 17 times already.
We're not monetized already.
True, but if we were, we would be demonetized.
We would have been demonetized for every single episode, especially Cigars of the Pharaoh.
I'm smoking on YouTube.
Yeah, wonder if you get demonetized for saying...
Saying what?
You know, the thing... Never mind, just...
Oh. It's funny.
Yeah, so Tintin's like pouring the tea. You see this guy outside his window. His head up from the window like, I'm watching you. And Tintin's like stirring the tea. And he looks so happy and calm, even though he almost just died.
So happy.
And at the window, because Tintin has his window open a little bit, because he just has no sense of security. He's just throwing caution to the wind after he was almost shot. And so the guy at the window pops up. He like fires a gun, and Tintin's teacup explodes. Away, and Tintin's like firing. He jumps out the window to chase them, and Tintin, who's wielding a gun, runs into like security, literally runs and knocks him over. It's like, well, I guess I hope he doesn't whistle for reinforcements. And then he does.
Hurry up, boys.
And they see Tintin, they're like, stop! And he's like, oh crap. And he gets arrested because, you know, he looks super shady.
Yeah.
No, I keep telling you. And they're like, you shut up. We're not listening to you. And it's Gibbons' friend, the chief police guy. He's like, hey, Gibbons, you remember that guy who hit you yesterday? Well, I've got him. We picked him up last night. And Gibbons is like, that's great. What are you going to do? Maniacally laughing, like, oh, I see. And you see Tintin in prison, and he's like, well, this is my life now.
This is lame.
He looks so bored.
Yeah.
So you see the chief of police. He's like talking to some guards. He's like, you know that he literally says this. He says that little ragamuffin you brought in last night. He's like, hey, he like beat up one of your friends. You might want to like that. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. So they open the door and Tintin's just kind of like, what is happening? The police guy, he's like listening at the door. He hears like all these like sounds of people being beat up. I hope they don't knock him around too much. And then the next panel you see like someone's calling the ambulance for the prison, and they're like, oh yeah, sure, we'll send one. Or the hospital car gets there.
Hospital car.
Shut up, I don't know. Ambulance, that's the word.
Rain roof and hospital car.
I'm so good at English. Think it being my native language, I'd know how to speak it, but no. Sometimes the words just aren't there.
Rain roof and hospital car.
Yep. So the ambulance comes and takes... And it turns out that the people who the ambulance was for was the guards, because Tintin just beat the crap out of them. And he's like out of prison after this, or if he escaped or whatever, but he's like walking the streets again. He's like, they clearly knew I was innocent. Whatever. And he goes back to the hotel and they're like, oh, you have a telegram and like a package. Come tonight at 10 o'clock to this street at the door. Wear the clothes you find in the parcel. It'll be easier for you to blend in. He also gets like a telegram from the Maharaja. It's like, please come urgency. That's not right.
What?
He a telegram from the Maharaja too, along with the note and the parcel. And it's like, oh, please come urgently. My son is in great danger.
Oh.
Why would Tintin have to go like leave his like mission and just like my son has like been kidnapped again.
I know.
And take like 5 days for like the floating boat. The floating boat, yes. To like get there still.
Wait, so he picks date night?
What?
Someone else that sent him a letter, and they're like, hey, you should meet me at this time at this place.
Basically a date. I'm kidding.
And then new Tinder sure looks great. Tinder update.
That's a really bad Tinder where someone just sends you a letter. Hey, place at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Definitely not a trap.
Yeah.
Well, clearly not.
It's
So,
a trap.
It's a trap!
Trump! Yeah, so
Trump.
Tintin's like, oh. Tintin goes, this is all really weird. I wonder what's going on now. He like walks in and over his tees all over the floor. And Snowy's like laying on the floor too.
Oh.
Like, is he poisoned? And he goes, no, thank goodness, his heart's still beating. He's like asleep. And Tintin also is like, it must have been the tea. He must have drank the tea that was on the floor. Stuff together. He's like, that shot that broke my teacup, it must have been trying to like keep me from drinking it.
Teacup tried to keep me from drinking it.
Ed?
What?
Did I say the teacup tried to keep him from...
Basically, yeah. Also, like
Great.
first time when I like read this, I thought when Tintin says the tea, I thought he was like talking about, oh no, we lost the tea spilled everywhere. He was like so sad for the tea. Oh no.
Aw,
Uh,
my tea got
Tears?
spilled over the.
my
The
dog.
motherfucking tea.
I like my dog is like nearly dead. No, but the tea.
Yeah, I'd be upset too. I love tea.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hashtag when you lose your
It's not-
tea.
you lose your tea, you lose your mind.
New
Yeah.
t-shirt.
We're gonna have a lot of t-shirts by the end of the day.
Yep.
Yeah, so Tintin like puts Snowy to bed. He like actually puts him in his bed and like tucks him in, and that's just really cute and kind of dorky, honestly.
He looks like terrified. Snow. He's like, he looks like so like horrified.
He does.
Ah!
Tintin, what are you doing? Yeah, so Tintin's just like, oh, sleep it off, Snowy. Don't worry if I come back late. I don't know if Snowy's actually gonna worry about that because he's a dog, but. So Tintin's like going through the streets. He asks for directions.
Type in
Really
low.
shady.
Type in low.
But it's like this really shady, rundown place. He's like, this is not a very healthy looking place. And he still knocks on the door.
Oh,
That's weird.
Okay, let's do a role play again.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to be Tintin. Here we go.
Okay.
Weird. Nobody's answering. I'm going in. Ah!
Wait, no.
Are you them? Hello. Cook, are you there? Blah blah. Fight me, you fool. Fight me, you gremlin. Okay, I'm just gonna leave now.
Wait, I don't. Don't, please. I have something to tell you. Lao Tzu said, "Be quiet. You must find the way."
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Find the way. I found it. You must find it.
I found a way. I found a way.
So I'm going to cut off your head.
Huh?
Then we'll know the truth. Okay, look. You don't have to be afraid. I only have to cut off your head.
The man's crazy. Whoosh.
It won't take a minute.
Okay.
Oh, poof. Donk. Yeah, okay, yeah. Tintin jumps on the table, so like Milka is unconscious.
I wanted to say that. Koso, you. But yeah, basically Tintin walks in and there's just this guy sitting there. He doesn't say anything. And Tintin just gets like kind of mad. He's like, okay, well, fight me then.
Fight me. Fight me, you gremlin. You demon.
Like, I'm gonna leave. And then he comes back. He's like, actually fight me though. But then he's like, no, I think I'll just leave then. And the guy's like, wait, don't go. I want to tell you something. And Tintin's like, well, clearly not a minute sooner. Basically, he's just like, I'm gonna cut off your head. And Tintin's like, excuse me? And the guy gets up and swinging his sword at Tintin.
Oof.
And they're like on opposite ends of like this table. And Tintin like jumps on his end and it comes up and hits the other guy. And he's like knocked out. And Tintin goes over. He's like, as I suspected, a puncture on his neck. Rajija.
Yeah, but the guy that wanted to show Tintin the way, that was like the same guy that like jumped and saved Tintin at the drive-by, and was standing outside the shop where Mitsuhirato stood. So
I can't believe I forgot that. Oh my gosh. But
our role play saved you. This
Yep.
thank you.
that 10 out of 10 role play. Roblox role play. Here we go.
Oof.
Let's oof. Let's go.
Yeah.
When he gets knocked out, he just says, oof.
Mega, you have to add in the Roblox oof sound now. You can't. You have
I
to.
will. Yeah.
Oof.
So Tintin's like, what am I gonna do for this poor guy? And he basically goes up to this officer and it's like, can you take care of this guy?
Hmm.
I just like found him. Please take care of him. He'll be fine with the police.
I should do that more often.
Whatever.
Just like take like a random stranger. Hey, Mr. Police, can you take this man? Take him. Put him to
Just be
prison.
like, this guy's totally crazy. And the other guy's like, no, I'm not. And the cop's like, well, you're crazy, so. Yeah, so Tintin's like,
we're not
I'm back
encouraging anyone to kidnap someone to the police and say they're crazy. Don't
yeah,
do
we
that.
don't promote that.
Or either to kill natives.
Don't do either of those things.
Or like rain roofs and hospital car in USA. Don't do any of that. Oh, do
Hospital car, but you probably shouldn't.
we don't care.
Yeah. So Tintin is basically just like, well, I have no more leads, so I guess I'm leaving. Getting on the boat, catches up with Tintin. He's like, oh, hey, Tintin. And Tintin's like, oh, it's Mr. Mitsuhirato. Hirato's like, oh, I heard you were leaving, so I came to say goodbye. Thanks, good wishes to you, too, and stuff. And Tintin's, like, dramatically leaning against the railing. He's like, I didn't learn very much in Shanghai, did I?
Toot!
I won't laugh this time, I promise. So, you see, like, these two crewmen? See that guy leaning on the rail? That's him! And the other guy's like, oh, I see. And you see, like, this shot of this, I think it's a fishing boat.
Yeah.
The big boat that Tintin's on. And so it's that night, and Tintin is just walking around the deck. Oh, he likes to take walks at night for some reason. Goes to Snowy, let's take a stroll around the deck in the dead of night. He's like just strolling along, whistling, and suddenly this rope comes from nowhere and pulls him up into the one of the what's it called? The word escapes me.
Lifeboat.
What?
Isn't it lifeboat?
Just call them boats.
Yes.
Or lifeboats. Or whatever.
Just call them boats.
So Tintin is like dragged up into one of the lifeboats, and he's like struggling and stuff. Eventually, you see like his hand, which is like over the side, it goes limp. And there, it's done. You didn't use too much chloroform, did you? And Snowy's like, it cuts to Snowy. He's just walking around, and he starts running, and then he's like, wait, where's Tintin? Out Tintin, they're like,
For me, it's just a picture of Tintin.
he's thinking about Tintin though.
Yeah. Aww.
And Tintin, they're like peeking over the edge of the boat, and they're like, put some on another handkerchief, and they drop it down, and Snowy goes up and sniffs it for some reason. So to be fair, dogs do sniff like anything that comes across their path. So
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Snowy gets knocked out. They like pull him up to lifeboat, and they're like, hey, and you see like the fishing boat from earlier. They're like, did you see that? They made the signal. Like, does that come up to the fishing boat? They like take it into their boat, and then they go on shore.
This reminds me a lot of like the the Ferrari cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he's in boxes, they're in boxes, and they're like getting kidnapped by boxes.
He gets kidnapped a lot, doesn't he?
True.
Did you say kidnapped by boxes?
Minecraft. Ooh.
Yeah, so it's like super shady. It's super shady. You see these guys like unloading the boxes.
Shady box smuggling.
It's the least form of smuggling Tintin has run into. Oh, those dirty box smugglers. They're smuggling Tintin. So
Poor
they're
boxes.
Tintin smugglers.
Yeah, poor boxes. Boxes.
Boxes.
Boxes. Yeah, so Tintin had just been kidnapped by the box smugglers, and he's like, "Oh, what's this? I'ma go out go out of my room and see what this is." Walk, 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 walk. Knock, knock. Who is this? Oh, hello. There's a guy who's sitting here. He must know. Sorry, mister. The crazy from Shanghai. As the guy turns around and he's like, "Have you found the way yet? No? Let me show you the way." Insert the way meme here.
Do you know the way?
Come on. Somebody took you must begin. Yeah, so Tintin like, oh no, it's the way man. You got the knuckles. So like a man comes in and says, "Didi, will you stop that?" And he's like, "Go to your room and behave." "Yes, father." So the man is like, the man with the yellow clothes. He's like, "My name is Wang Jiangia. I'm the father to this poor soul. Our enemy has poisoned my son, and he had like what's that word? Like something for you to do." Yes. Then he's like, "Oh, that's him. I owe him my life. He was the guy that made me not die 2 times already." he made me not die. So he's like, "Oh, the dad, Jin Wang." He's like, "Oh, yeah, it was a pretty brutal kidnapping with the box kidnapping, and that the message where you were supposed to go to India was false. My son was supposed to tell you today, this night, but he wouldn't because he couldn't because he was like poisoned. Blah 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 blah. Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, there was need for you in China. Why there? Oh, why is there need for me here? Because they're in China." And so the dad's like, "Oh, Wang." He's like, "Follow me. Follow me. Yes. Stay here, Snowy, and behave." And the dad is like, my people, my 3 friends. This is the young reporter Tintin, who will help us, who will give us like amazing help, not mentally but literally." And he's like, "Here, Mr. Tintin, let me explain. The this headquarters is from the Dragon's Sons, and that's a secret corporation which is supposed to fight opium or drugs or whatever that is. And they're in the Tintin's in the headquarters of the Dragon Sons, and they're biggest like rival is is a Japanese guy and his name is Mitsu Hirato. Plot twist: he's not a good guy.
Aww.
Wow, dude. So the crazy guy, the son, he's like, walk, walk, walk. Hello. Do I need to show you that way? That way. And then the dad goes on and talks like, Mitsuo Irari, yes, he's a secret agent for the Japanese Japanese police or something, yeah. And yeah, he's one of the most dangerous. And we see him like and we see like a picture with him and he's like, hello Tokyo. And he has a globe and he has like a big like board of ships and it just says storage, drugs. And there's like 7 of them. Storage, drugs, storage, drugs. So he's like a big exporter. Yeah, he's like a spy and he's very dangerous. And we cut over to Mitsuhirato and he's like, oh yes, this is Tokyo. Yes, Your Excellency. Your Majesty. Yeah, Tintin, he is on the way to India. Telegram told him to go there. But it wasn't easy. But it's not easy. The Dragon Sons will not let him stay. I must talk to you untraditionally. I had to take untraditionally methods. It's hard to translate so much. Yeah. Amazing. No, now the way has been cleared and there's like it's easy to get through without plans. You will take the Fujiyama order to the first class. Guys, if I'm like making mistakes, like just correct me because can like yeah.
No, it's fine.
Okay. So he's like blah 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 blah. Yep. And we cut back to the dad. And he's like, "Oh, we hope you will understand us and will help us in this, just like you did in India." But Mitsuerati has a well-organized spy agency. Blah, yeah, and we have to fight that. Bork, bork, it's Snowy! And the son, he has kidnapped Snowy, and he's going to kill him. He just set Snowy on a chair and tied him down. He's like, I will show you that way. By chopping off your head.
This is the second time Snowy's almost died while tied up.
Yep. Wait, yeah, actually. Yeah. Let's look in his room. Titi. It's so amazing. Like, he's called Titi. Yeah. Come in, Dad. I'm just about to cut off this dog's head. Titi, you are not supposed to kill people's dog. When will you understand that, you stupid idiot? No, Tintin, like, unties him. You must excuse my son, Mr. Tintin. He does not have control over his body. Keep up the hope, Mr. Wang, because we will find a way to cure this madness. But now that we're talking about Mitsuerati, when they arrived at China, he tried to scare you away, but he didn't succeed. Then he tried to kill you. That didn't succeed either. And now he's thinking that you're on the way to China, and he's pretty sure. So we'll have, and we know he's communicating over radio. Ugh.
Hirato thinks he's going back to India, not China.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
It's fine.
This book. No, wait. I'm not going to spoil it. But like, I hate like this like long sentences, like these explaining pages. Yeah. So they're like boop 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 boop. Tintin sitting with his like radio from before, and he's like, I got this in the Rahamage's palace, and it says the following: RRCQ 15.30. Geronimus typewriter and Sir Adigato. It mid creatures has begun west yeah, something. But when I was on the ship, I found out that the first letter in every word, it would be RRCQ 15.30. Your gift, yeah, your gift is on the way. You will have to listen into the next week, just like the Tinmore Podcast. Remember to tune in next Wednesday and listen to the next podcast, or listen to those you haven't listened to. Like and subscribe, Soundcloud, and everything is in the description.
Smooth.
Yeah. what a segue. And the word arigato means thank you in Japanese. We are about to become weeps.
Wait.
Yeah, blah 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 blah. Boop 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 boop. They're getting like another message, and they're like, "Oh, if we've got a new message, and if we take the two first letters in each word, it gives Blue Lotus at 22 o'clock today. But it doesn't make sense. So that Mr. Wang is like, Blue Lotus. Wait a minute, yes. In Shanghai, there's an drug cave. What is that drug actually called? Can you tell me?
Opium den.
Oh, opium. Yeah, okay. Called the Blue Lotus, an opium cave. That's amazing. I'm going to there. I'm going over there.
He's like, oh, that sounds fun.
Wow. Same. Then we skip to like at 22 p.m. Blue Lotus and Tintin has this blue outfit and the black hat on again. He enters in, and there's a big dragon painted, and a vase, and a lady person. Oh, that could be a man. I don't know. Like this is the way in. And Tintin like lays down and smokes some opium.
And actually, he just is pretending to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah. So we see Gibbons, his friend, I think, in like a big coat, and the guy that showed Tintin in is like, no, Michirudato is not arrived yet, but you're welcome to smoke some goddamn opium. And the next picture we see like Gibbons is laying there and has smoked some nice opium. Yeah. Like picture Tintin's like he looks so like cute. He's like sleeping on the yeah. He's laying a bit like a woman.
I know. Oh, he's so cute. I need to drink in the image. Just wait a sec.
What?
Okay, we're done.
You need to drink in the image?
Yes. It's a real figure of speech.
Yeah.
How do you drink an image?
Orbit into your brain.
I will literally drink the image. I'm joking. Okay, you can continue.
No t-shirt, everyone. I will take the image. We have already like 20 ideas for merchandise, but like none of them is like going to come through. But yeah, we'll go with it. Yeah. So the meteorite is like he like arrives with this rain roof, and they're like, oh, let's go in and talk, Mister Gibbon's friend. Let's just call him Freddy because Freddy is a good name for him. No hate to everyone called Freddy. And Mitsuda is like, here's the beginning $5,000. You'll get a bonus. You'll get even more when your task is done. If you do not succeed, then you're going to die. Verstanden? Ja, sehr gut. They're like, oh, goodbye, boss. The boss. And they're walking to the car, and Tintin, like, he, like, heard everything. So Tintin jumps on the reserve wheel, the backup wheel, and he goes with them out into the darkness. They're going out to a railway, and they have some dynamite with them, and they're going to explode it. And Tintin's laying in the background, like, watching anything. Well, they look like shadows. And Tintin's like, whoa, that was insane! And it's also pretty cold. And the boss, Mitsuda was like, perfect. So Mitsuda was like, he's calling the Shangfo station. Some Chinese bandits has exploded the track in the air. Wait, no, he said they just exploded. Yes, 132, 23 kilometers away. Yes. Tintin's like, oh, it's so cold. I'm going to sneeze. Sneezed. The Major said Mitsuria is like, bang, bang, shoot him. We are being spied on. Catch him. Tintin's like, oh, let me flee. Oh no, this is so horrible. But he walks in the tree and he's like, oh, And Mitsuda is like, oh no, it's Tintin. Oh, God, good thing we catched him. But, yeah. Oh, God. It's so hard to see these pictures. So, then we see, like, this train man. He's like, the Minister of the Defense, Tokyo, stop. Chinese bandits has blown up the railway between Shanghai and Nanking. Stop. Materials damage. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm blah blah blah. They're saying it in the radio. Here's Radio Tokyo. Chinese bandits evilness has blown up. That has no like. They don't stop anywhere, and they've blown up things between Shanghai and Nanking, and they're going to try to stop the bandits. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, blah blah blah. That's like it could look like Japanese propaganda. Then yeah. So they're going to war.
Notice though that the people listening to the radio that it shows is like people from previous comics.
Wait, yeah, it is. Oh, wait, is it?
Yeah, I think
First
so.
one is one of the. It's either Tim or Tom. I don't recognize the second guy. I'm sorry, but like I know he's been.
You think that's Tim and Tom?
First guy, yeah.
His head looks a lot rounder. But I guess, yeah.
Wearing
And
his
he.
hat.
Wait, no, does he have a hat in yours?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm saying he's not wearing his hat, which is why he probably looks different.
yeah. Yeah.
Second guy's from America, I think.
Yeah, that's probably like a mafia guy. Gangster guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
And
they're
then
like.
also the Maharaja
Hmm? Yeah,
is
yeah,
also
also the Maharaj. Yeah. So Tintin like has been kidnapped by Mitsuradatu, and he's like, I warned you, China is dangerous. And then Mr. Wang is like, oh, where is Tintin? He was supposed to be here like 20 million days ago. Mitsuradatu is like, my driver will drive them back to Shanghai. I have a little I have a little rivalry between Tintin and I want to end that. Goes on Tintin and he's like, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't like treat you before, Tintin. So Tintin's like, what do you want to do with me? That's wrong. I blah 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 blah. I will set you free. I don't want to kill you. Yeah, I will set you free. Let me go get something for you. Tintin's like, oh yeah, I'm so happy. So Mitsuhidaitu is like, he comes out with this, with the poison that make everyone's crazy. And Tintin like says, the crazy poison. So
crazy
Mitsuhidaitu is.
poison.
So he's like, psh, you are now crazy, Tintin. Tintin's like, crazy? I'm going to be crazy. Ah. And Mr. Wang is like, what about Chang? Hasn't he arrived either? And I do not know who that is.
It's someone who comes in later.
Yeah, but do you think that's the same?
It's someone who works for them already.
Yeah, definitely, but it's not the same Chang that we all meet on the further on.
It's a different Chang.
Probably. Yeah.
Two people named Chang in this comic.
Yeah, so Tintin's like, he's like dancing and he's like, out on the steps sits an idiot and sang. And he's like, the Danish translation is so great because like, he's like, hot dogs, hot dogs. With like waving his arms. It's amazing. And Tintin's like, oh, it's amazing. Yeah, Tintin like looks so crazy. And he's like dancing into the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Tintin like comes into the city, and Snow is also in the city, but the Mr. Wang hasn't seen Tintin like a long time. It's like a day or so, and Snow is like, "Oh, Tintin, that's you! Bark! I see you!" And Tintin's like playing flute on his nose. It looks a bit like the picture from Tintin in the Soviet Union. In the lines of where he's like, he tried to say they're going to eat, but it looked like he was playing flute. Yeah. So Tintin goes on to act like a plane, and he's like, brum brum. Better watch out, I'm a plane, I'm about to land. So
also, like, Snowy, when he sees Tintin acting crazy, he thinks he's drunk.
Oh, wait, yeah. That's amazing. So Tintin's like, oh, Snowy, it's been so long since I've seen you. I think I'm actually was supposed to be crazy, but I am not. Weirdly, if like someone has a medical uh, uh, diagnosis or something, leave a comment in the comment section below if like it's harmful to put blood in water in your blood veins, because then we can say we've got our second comment. Shout out to all. So yeah, so Mitsudato is like an almighty shotgun. This was not the poison. This was water. So Tintin, wait, no, Mr. Wang's like friend. He's like Chang is yeah blah 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 blah. I have something here. Yeah, there was a guy, Mr. Wang's dealers or whatever they are. They shifted up the poison with water. And he like fixed his knife and pistol so they won't work. Mitsudado's like going out with his knife and his gun, not literally dating them, but running away with Tintin, or running to Tintin with his broken gun and his broken knife. That's so he tries to shoot him. It doesn't work because it's empty. And he tries to stab him, but the knife is made out of my mental state.
Rubber,
yeah. All that.
It looks like Tintin still like is at least gonna be sore in the shoulder.
Yeah. Like he got a solid punch in the shoulder. Honestly.
And if it was rubber, he's still like that's quite a bit of force with rubber, and so
yeah, it looks like the handle isn't made out of rubber. That's like solid. Yeah. So Mitsu's Hato is like he goes on because Tintin hit him and killed him nearly, and he just like, oh, sergeant, and a young European hit me. Do something. So Tintin goes on. Sees like a big like quote wanted poster where Tintin's like
the wanted poster.
I don't know what it's called.
Wanted poster.
Rain roof hospital car wanted poster. Then he's like, oh, let's get off the city, but it's been blocked off. What do we do? And that's a beautiful picture. There's like this like big wall, and everyone has to like give their passport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tintin's like, oh, what do I do? Guy sees Tintin and you're the guy the Japanese are looking for. Get in here. So Mitsuhidatu is like, the next picture. He's like, oh, you better find him or I'm going to be mad. And Tintin has been carried out by the guy with the barrels from earlier. And the man with the barrels is the cousin of the man with the rickshaw that Tintin saved. Because Gibbons, the fat man, the guy wanting to beat up natives, he hit that guy, yeah. So Tintin like walks on the road again, and Gibbons drives by in his beautiful blue car on the road and says, "Oh, that's Tintin. He's not supposed to be there."
In the English version, he goes, "Blow me if that isn't Tintin." And I just
blow.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, please. Gibbons is like, oh, Tintin's like wanted. So Gibbons goes like to the officer checking his ID. Oh, take me to your supreme leader. I know what Tintin is. So they send out a Kampfwagen, tank or armored car, and try to find Tintin. But they don't seem to find him. But it returns back later in the in the night. But Tintin arrives home to Mr. Wang with Snowy, but the armored car didn't find Tintin. So Gibbons gets sent to jail, or custody, or whatever that is. Something.
What? Armored car?
Yeah.
Why is it? Oh, I thought it was a tank. Oh, wait, never mind. That's a car. Okay, continue.
Okay, so oh, yup. And Mr. Wang's wife is like, oh, our son is going crazy again. Wang. Try to make him calm down. Tin is like, oh no, poor mother. I wish I could do something. And he's like, you know what? Trust me, I will free your son from this misery.
Also, Tintin is crying because he's so upset at seeing her crying that he's also crying.
I thought he was sweating.
It could be. Yeah. So
it's like, oh my god, I'm finally talking to a girl.
The sentence wrapped up my entire life. Oh my god. Yeah. So Tintin's he goes with the car. Up next morning, he takes the car with Mr. Wang, and they're going to Shanghai again. Oh god, this is a big part. Yeah. So
take over if you want me to.
Yeah, do that. I am exhausted by talking.
So, we learned the name of Gibbons' friend, and it's Dawson. Ooh!
Finally. Would be
I know,
nice
right?
if we learned that at the start, so we don't have to say Gibbons' friend.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we called him Freddy. His name is Freddy.
Freddy Dawson, then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is that he makes a deal with the Japanese police or whatever.
Yeah.
And he says that if you release my friend Gibbons, then he asks if Gibbons can be released, and they're like, yeah, sure, but if Tintin comes to your place, your international settlement, you gotta hand him over. I can do that. And you see out of Mr. Wang's car, and Mr. Wang's like, you've really made up your mind then? And Tintin's like, yeah, but don't worry about it. I'll keep in touch. And he's waving goodbye.
Goodbye.
He's like, how am I gonna get myself into the city? And Snowy's like, Tintin, you're crazy.
This is an amazing section.
True.
Oh, I love this part. But you see Mitsuhirato, he's like, you still haven't caught him? What are you doing? Double the reward then. See this other military guy, he's like, oh, there's a new general coming here this morning for an inspection, and I want everything to be perfect order. On horseback, and he's walking in basically, and they're all saluting him and whatever, down, and points to his face, and the guy's like, sorry, General, I haven't had time to shave this morning. 4 fingers, and the other guy's like, 4 days detention? Alright then. He's walking down the line, he goes up some steps, and there's this paper, he points it out, and the guy's like, it just blew here, General. We're very sorry. Days detention. But it's only a piece of paper, so he gets 8 days in detention.
What an a-hole.
I know. So the general's leaving, and they're like, he's full of charm, isn't he? Our new general. And someone goes up to the guy the general was just bullying, and it's like, Major, there's a little guy who insists on seeing you, and he claims to be the general. Actually is the general, He's like, I was attacked on the road by a young Chinese guy, and he took my uniform. And he's like looking around. He's like, well, no one's around. Here we go then. And he starts taking off.
Also, the general says like "bakayado." If anyone speaks Japanese, please translate that.
Baka?
That's like idiot, I know.
Yeah. Well, it's probably telling him he's an idiot.
Tsukabaka.
Baka!
The general slowly takes off the hat, then the glasses, and the mustache, and it's Tintin! Shocker!
His face in like the second picture when he has taken his hat off.
That's our
beautiful
profile.
picture.
Yeah, that's our profile picture.
Yeah. So Tintin like also takes off the coat. Like he's wearing suspenders and Snowy is in the suspenders.
That doesn't seem
and
very
Snowy's
comfortable.
Yeah.
But Tintin lets Snowy out and they start going to the international settlement there. And there's like a soldier in front. He's like, I need your papers. Identity papers. I don't have them with me. And he says, my name is Tintin though, so sorry, not doing anything. And Tintin takes off the hat. European though. Because I guess
Can we
the
kill
guy's
all
still
Can we kill all the natives?
Oh my god.
Oh man. Yeah. So the guy still refuses to help Tintin out. It's like, hey, what's going on? And the soldier, like, keeping Tintin from inside is like, this guy doesn't have any papers. Comes out, he's like, well, if you don't have papers, you can't come in. And Tintin's like turning around to leave. He goes, oh crap, it's a Japanese patrol. This is so dumb. He looks up and he's pointing. He goes, oh? And then the other guys look up past them and steal the bike.
Oh?
He's like, oh? And pointing up, and they're just like, what? Because
Sonic.
I know.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, catch that guy. He stole the bike, whatever. And Tintin's like, you know, biking down the road. Snowy's running after him. The other guys, they get in like this motor car with a
Motor car.
Side-
I think it's a motorcycle.
same difference.
Motor car.
Sometimes the words fail.
Motor car.
I think it's the same thing. Like,
motor car?
Yeah, I
think
think it's
it
an
can
actual
be.
word. I think.
Yeah, I think it can be both. Whatever. Anyways, so Tintin's like biking down the road. There's this car coming. He slams into it. It's like a truck. So he goes over the side of the truck bed and he lands in it. He's like, oh, well, that's convenient. And he tells Snowy, like, keep going. I'll jump when we slow down. And he does.
Oh.
Through town. And this is also stupid. The guys are like looking for him. They just see the bike and they're like, where'd he go though? Cuts to Tintin in a movie theater.
What a hiding
Best
place.
hiding place.
Yep.
He says at least they won't come to look for us in here. Because also they for some reason let Snowy in.
Yeah.
But you see like this soldier, this Japanese guy, whatever, he's like, I don't know, he was dressed like a Chinese and he told me his name was Tintin. And the other guy's like, Tintin? You're sure he said Tintin? So Tintin's watching the movie. He's like, oh, Snowy, do you remember this movie? It's the one Mr. Rastapopoulos was shooting in Arabia that we interrupted. And it actually is. It's really funny.
Mm.
Thing I don't know.
Wait, what?
I don't know. It just devolves into like this dog show.
Dog show? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the dogs on the screen are barking, and Snowy starts barking too. And
Bark, bark, bark,
so
bark.
everyone's like, what the heck? And
Yeah.
then it's like showing this thing of a professor. Oh, he's the world author on madness. And so Barry Lanley is like, that's the man to cure Mr. Wang's son. And everyone's like, would you be quiet? So Tintin like gets a rickshaw, and he's like, I want Professor Feng. What's this? He's Ying.
Fancy Ying.
Seeing.
No, say Ying, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ying. But Tintin asks for directions to his house. I was like, oh yeah, sure. And he drops Tintin off at the guy's house. And he knocks on the door and asks for Professor Fang. Answered the door. He's like, no, Professor Fang hasn't returned yet, but he won't be long. With the guy, and quite a while passes. And then the servant guy comes back. He's like, I'm really like freaked out because usually he told me he'd be home by 10 o'clock and now it's after midnight. And Tintin's like, hey, well, do you know where he went? And the servant guy's like, oh yeah, he went to a reception given his honor by his friend. And he says like, oh, here's the address and stuff. And Tintin's like, oh, I guess I'll go there then. So Dr. Fang's friend is like, what? Dr. Fang hasn't gotten home yet? That's really weird because he left at 10 o'clock with Mr. Rastapopoulos. And Tintin's like, oh, Rastapopoulos is here. Where's he staying? And he finds the place and goes. Tintin knocks on the door, and Rastapopoulos is in. And Tintin's like, oh, good evening. It's so good to see you. And Rastapopoulos is like, oh, Tintin, what a great surprise. Basically asking about Professor Fang. Rastapopoulos is like, oh yeah, I gave him a lift to my car and left him at the corner of the street of Infinite Wisdom where he lives. Why do you ask? And Tintin's like, home. So Populus is like, oh, he didn't get home, but it's only a few steps to his door from the place where I dropped him off. So you see, it's Freddy. He's getting a call. And they're like, you didn't arrest him? Are you stupid? Guy he's talking to.
Dozy dolt. Whatever that means.
I don't know. Talking to is like, oh, the guy at the front didn't warn me soon enough, and he'd already left by the time I got there. And Tintin goes back to Mr. Fang's house, and he's like, is he still not home? That's really weird. He decides to trace the route of the professor from when he got out of the car to his house, whatever. And he finds a patch of oil. And he says, oh, a car must have parked here. I guess someone was like waiting for the professor and grabbed him. This card on the ground, and it's for Mr. Gibbons. And Tintin's like, oh, well, I don't know that name, because he doesn't know this guy's name yet. So, he goes to the address, and the guy is like talking to Gibbons. He's like, oh, he didn't give his name, but he told me he'd only be a minute. And so Gibbons is like, yeah, let him in. Tintin, and they freak out because they recognize each other. And it's like, this is your card, isn't it? I found it on the professor where he disappeared last night. And Gibbons is like, disappeared? That's news to me. Last evening, and gave him my card and everything. And Tintin leaves, and it's like, oh, he seemed kind of worried. Tintin gets on, like, the trolley, and as he's leaving, Gibbons calls Freddy, and he's like, oh, I just saw Tintin, he was here, and he's going to this address, and blah, blah, blah. The police are, like, going there. Gets to Professor Fang's house, he's like, it's like, oh, a letter came after you left from Dr. Fang. And Tintin's like, oh, a letter? By Chinese gangsters demanding a ransom of $50,000. And he goes, don't call the cops. The letter says, like, leave the ransom at this place and blah, blah, blah. And so Tintin decides that he's going to go find the professor. Guy, like the package he's been carrying around, he's like, take really good care of this. And gets grabbed by these two guys who are, like, on either side of the door. They go back to Freddy and they're like, okay, we got Tintin for you. And Freddy's like, good job, bring him in. Like, I need to know why you arrested me. And he calls the Japanese border post. And he's like, oh yeah, I've arrested Tintin. They're like, you got Tintin? Congrats then. Tintin goes, it's disgraceful. I'm on international territory here, and you've got no right to hand me over to the Japanese guy. He's best expression. So menacing. He's like, about that, you don't have papers letting you in here, so I don't have to do anything. And so and they're giving Tintin over to the Japanese Mitsu Hirato, and they're like, yeah, we've got him. And he's like, you have him? Great. Basically gonna put him on trial. And hears about it like 2 days later. And he's like, they've condemned him to death. I saw the posters in the city. And
oh no.
Oh boy. So 3 days go by. Be executed. It shows Tintin in his cell, and he's talking to himself. In third person. He goes, tomorrow at dawn, Tintin ends his career. Like,
Captain's log.
Right? It's weird that he himself Tintin, like.
Yeah, it's probably like since he's like a reporter.
Wait, I think he's just doing that to, like, I don't know, be sarcastic. Wait, no, not sarcastic. Just like, never mind. It's hard to explain.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
So they goes into Tintin's cell. I've come to you as a friend, Tintin. No jokes. I'll give you your freedom, but on 2 conditions. And he says, you join our counter-espionage service, and you tell me where you've hidden the poison you stole. And Tintin goes, that's all? I was like, nope, I'll give you $10,000. Kicks him out.
Who would do that?
Well, I mean, you know, he's Tintin, so of course he's gonna refuse.
I don't want your dirty money.
Dirty money.
I don't want to be a spy either. So the guy, like, standing outside the door, he's like, he refused your offer? And Mitsuhirato's like, what made you think that?
How did you know that? Amazing.
And Tintin, he's like, well, I guess I'll die. And he has like this really smug expression, actually. He's very proud of himself for kicking out Mitsuhiratu. So he goes to the window and hears like them sharpening swords, and he's like, oh. And he turns around and sees like this mouse. He goes, oh.
Pew pew.
Appear into this. He sees it disappear into this hole, and he's like, oh, I guess there's a cellar. And it comes up. Or actually, he doesn't lift it. It pops open.
Magic.
Like, don't make a noise. Come quickly.
Magical. It's like Tintin in America all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Tintin back at it again with the basements. And so he goes down. He's like, and then he decides that, well, it's either stay there and die or go down the hole. So he goes, and the thing closes, and it's Mr. Wang.
Hey,
Oh!
the Wang.
And he goes, how can I thank you? And Mr. Wang's like, dude, shut up. We need to be quiet and hurry. Hole they dug. They exit the hole, and Mr. Wang's like, oh, now you're in my house. Tintin goes, your house? Yeah, I have like, he says, as soon as I heard you were sentenced to death, I rented this house. And so they decide to leave the city, and it's the next day, and they're like, he vanished? How? Oh, man. They're like, what's the major gonna say? And he's like, escaped. You're so stupid. You were guarding him. How did he escape? And then he goes, what's the general going to say? And it's basically the same thing. Basically just a parade of people being like, oh, how could this have happened? Oh. Mitsuhiratu hears about it. He's like, oh, crap. And yeah, their guards are like, you need to do like double the guards on the gate. We can't let him out of the city. We'll be a laughing stock. People around are like hearing about Tintin's escape, and so Tintin and the group, they get to like this like, hiding in these sacks on the cart or whatever, and the soldier's like, hey, what's inside those sacks? And the other soldier goes, oh, it's rice. This guy, he's like, we'll see about that. So they stab the bags with their guns, their bayonets. Nothing happens. So like, all right, just go then. And there's this armored car that like zooming in the streets, and they go up to the guards. They're like, did you see a cart go past with sacks on it? And the guy's like, oh yeah, sure. Jim was hidden in one of those sacks, and the guy like freaks out. He's like, I'm in so trouble. I'm in so much trouble. This other guy goes up to the sergeant major. People guarding the armored cars just disappeared, and they go in there. So the sergeant major and the guard who's like, by the way, the sentries are gone, they go into the tank room, and the sergeant major's like, where could he have gone? And then he trips over a pair of boots. The guy with the sergeant major, he's like, Sergeant Major, that's the sentry under the tank. And so the sergeant or someone is like calling someone else.
Yeah.
They're like, someone stole an armored car. You see Tintin and Mr. Wang, and they're like chuckling over having just committed a crime.
No.
And well, he's like,
What?
no, never mind. But there's this general guy. He's like, I've had enough. They like stole this right from under our noses. You had to go out there immediately and get them. And he's like, why didn't you go after them immediately anyways? And they're like, vehicles had been sabotaged because Tintin wanted to add more crimes to his list.
Yup.
And the general's like, well, what about the airplanes? So they send the airplanes after them. And it's like 3/4 of an hour later, and the general's like pacing. He's like, what happened to them? They haven't said anything. And it's one of the pilots. He's like, oh yeah, we found the armored car like 20 kilometers away, but there was no one there. So, and the general like freaks out. He's like, who knows where Tintin is now? Gosh dang it.
It says in mine, incompetent idiots.
Yeah. In mine, he just is screaming bunglers a bunch of times. So you see Tintin and Mr. Wing talking, and Tintin's like, you know, if we want to save your son, we had to find Professor Fang or whatever. Suggests like after that we'll take care of Mitsuhirato and his gang and whatever. And Tintin explains that tomorrow he's going to go to Hukao, I think.
Yeah.
He says like
Hukoi. Or Hukao. Something.
I'm just going to say Hukao because
No.
Yeah. But Tintin's like, that's where the ransom for the professor was said to be. So it's next morning, you see Tintin on the train. This guy sitting next to him is like, oh, didn't you know the river has broken its banks and like there's flooding like crazy, and you probably won't be able to reach Hukao. Like this random guy just is talking to Tintin. Like,
Yeah, stranger danger.
I know, right?
Yep.
So the train pulls up to this station, and it's like crowded with people like leaving. And Tintin leans out the window and is like, hey, what's happening? Guys is like, the train isn't going any further because the line's cut. And so Tintin gets off the train. He's like, okay, well, how far is it to Hukao? 3 hours on foot. I almost said 300 hours, but no. That'd be a nightmare.
Yep. Long book.
It's 300 hours. No big deal.
Yep.
Tintin's like, yeah, maybe not. Anyway. So you see Tintin, he's like walking along the rails, and he like reaches the end of it, and it's like plunging into the water. Gave way beneath it, so it like collapsed. And Tintin hears like this person calling for help. So he's like, oh crap, and he like takes off his it's not exactly jacket, but like, yeah. He takes off his overshirt and he jumps in at this kid, and you know, or Tintin's like, oh, he's alive. And when the kid sits up, Tintin's like, that's better, right? You almost swallowed half the river. And then he introduces himself as Tintin. He introduces himself as Chang Chongchen. Yeah, I love Chang, actually. Like, he's such a great character.
Yeah. He's so amazing.
Mm-hmm. Chang is like, why did you save me? I thought all white people were like really horrible and stuff.
He actually says, I thought all white devils were evil.
Yeah. Tintin's like, oh, well, we're not all horrible people. And he says, you see, different peoples don't know enough about each other because lots of Europeans still believe all these horrible things about, you know, Chinese people. So they have a laugh about all the stupid stuff believe about the Chinese, and they're friends now, like instantly. Also, Chang, he says, they must be crazy people in your country.
They kinda are.
People are crazy everywhere.
True. Mostly in Belgium. Pancakes and syrup and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To Mitsuhirato, and he's like, "Hey, General, about Tintin." And the general's like, "You know where he is?" And Mitsuhirato's like, "Oh yeah, I just received a telegram, and he got a train to Hukao this morning." I was like, "But that's way deep in Chinese territory. We cannot go there." And Mitsuhirato's like, "Don't worry about it. I've got a plan." And it cuts back to Tintin and Chang, and Tintin's like, "Hey, where are you going now, Chang? My parents are dead. I have nowhere to go."
Put that on a
So
t-shirt. I don't know, my parents are dead. It seems pretty sad.
just yeah. To be honest, he doesn't look very sad. He's just like, "You know what? My parents are dead. I have nowhere to go, so I'll just go with you, Tintin."
He was probably Tintin was probably the luckiest man that he'll like get saved by. Yeah.
It depends on your perspective on Tintin's luck, considering all the stuff he gets
True.
into. Like,
Yeah.
especially because immediately after this, Tintin's like,
Yeah.
"But I'm running headlong into danger."
Yeah.
And Chang, he just is like, "But won't we be stronger together?" And Tintin's like, "Well, all right then. That's enough of an argument to persuade me to put your life in danger. Let's go."
Yeah.
And so they go to Hukao, and Chang is like, "Oh, I know a shortcut." So they're stuff, and it cuts back to the general and Mitsuhirato. The general's like, "Oh, well, let's see if the chief of police, Freddy, will agree to this." "Don't worry about that, General." And he pulls out like this paper that basically says owes Mitsuhirato like a bunch of money and stuff. So and Mitsuhirato goes to see Freddy. So Mitsuhirato is like, "Hey, I'll how to explain this?" He's like, "I'll give you comes to ask for a favor," and he says, "If you agree to this, I'll lift all your debt." Freddy's like, "Well, what do you want then?" And Mitsuhirato's like, "You have to go arrest Tintin and Hukao." It's like, "But that's Chinese territory. That's far beyond my jurisdiction, whatever." Mitsuhirato, he like is leaning against. Oh, he's leaning over the desk. He's like, "Of course, but they won't refuse if you have permission to go after a European like Tintin outside of the settlement. Uh, you know, that's fine and all, but Tintin hasn't committed a crime." Hirato's like, "But what if you framed him for one? Just say he kidnapped Professor Fang. Don't worry about it." And Freddy's like, "Well, that's fine then." So he calls the Chinese police headquarters, and he's like, "Hey, I got a lead on that kidnapping from Professor Fang. I think it was Tintin." And so like, "You want to pass for your detectives?" "Well, that's fine then, because Tintin's a criminal now again." And Freddy hangs up. He's like, "Oh well, everything's set then. Have the pass to go tomorrow." Freddy and Mitsuhirato shake hands, like, "Arrest Tintin, let him go, and then maybe he might possibly fall into our hands. But don't forget to cancel my debt, by the way."
What a guy.
Cuts.
What a guy. Like, getting bribes and everything.
To be fair, he does have like a bunch of money debt, so it's not exactly bribery as much as blackmail.
Yeah. Yeah. Should I take it from here now?
So thank you.
I suppose you approve of my overtaking of reading. Yeah, so Tintin and Jiang, they like have arrived at Hukao. They walk down this like big stair, and it looks like something from Lord of the Rings. Please don't copy strike us. And Chang says like, my father used to have a friend in this town, and in Hukao, we can rest there. And next picture, he's like, oh, welcome to my house. Yeah. Then we see Timson and Thompson. They look really mad, and they're standing in front of Freddy, and Freddy's like giving them this order to arrest them with a letter of Tintin. So they're going to arrest Tintin, yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, a poop job, or like, yeah, a slave job. I don't know. They're like, oh, why do we have to arrest one of our friends? So they take a train, and for me, they call the train a like jumpy train. And it's like in Danish, it's much better. It's like bumle train. It's amazing, yeah.
English in the English it's just train.
Oh,
We don't get the fancy names and stuff.
as Europeans, we're so cool with the translations. So they have this weird yellow clothes on, like I don't know what it's supposed to be. Like
It's a disguise costume.
yeah,
They're
disguise.
blending in.
Yeah, wait, who are those? Oh, it's that Timson, Thompson, and Thompson, or whoever they are. So they like they walk in, and there's like this next big picture where like the whole city like walking behind them because they look so dumb, and we're like 200 years like yeah. So Tin is like, hey, Timson and Thompson, hello, how are you? And they're like, oh no, we're so sorry, but we have to arrest you. Wait, on another picture, Tintin has a green coat on, but he usually has a blue coat. What? Excuse me? Oh.
That's weird.
Yeah. So he's like to Chang, sorry Chang, I've been arrested apparently. So goodbye. Goodbye to you. And they're like, let's go to the police station. And they're like crying, I think.
I think they're because they're nervous.
Yeah, all that. So they're like to the officer. Here, Mr. Officer, we have an order about Tintin we were supposed to arrest. Then like Timson can't seem to find the paper.
Warrant?
Yeah, something with the Tintin's yeah, arresting order, yeah. So he runs out and finds the paper, and he's like, I found it, shows it to the man sitting behind the desk, like, yeah. And he like goes out laughing somehow. But like, why you they're like, nobody knows why he's laughing. So like guards take out the Timson and Thompson and like, what's going on? What? So they're like, oh, we will tell this to Shanghai and be very not happy. So Tintin also gets set free again, and he's like to Chang, here I am, and he for some reason got set free. But Chang then explains that he took the paper or the order that Thompson dropped, and he wrote, these men, this is an official document that these two men are really crazy. That's what he wrote on the paper. Yeah. Yeah. So Timson and Thompson, they're like Shin. That Timson and Thompson look so funny in this comic. Like they look like me. It looks even like so weird. Oh, so mad. Like, meh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tintin and Chang goes out and like see. Oh, let's see if we can find Fang. The that Fang guy. But it's the weather is bad. Breaks out by being bad. And then Mitsuhirato received a bird with a paper where it says the arresting of Tintin did not go as planned. Awaiting orders. So he sends out another bird, like using a male bird or whatever it is. So it's
Yeah.
yeah. So Tintin and Chang, they see this big shine, chime.
Shrine.
Yeah, shrine. Yeah, words. And they're like, oh, a temple. They call it actually, and they are going to go get a photograph of this very mysterious-looking guy. But then it starts shooting. It's like a big camera, and it hits Tintin. Bang, 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 poof, bang. But it only shoots 2 bullets, and Tintin gets knocked out. But Chang jumps into the camera.
Tackles this guy.
Yeah, no, he more tackles the camera, and yeah, he's kind of trying to fight him, but it's not going very well. I would judge by myself.
No.
But Tintin goes up with a pistol and hands up, you crime guy. And he explains blah 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 blah. People are scared of Tintin finding Fancy Yang doctor. Blah 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 blah. Tintin, you broke your arm or shoulder or whatever you did. So they go to the hospital, and they bring the camera with them. I do not know. Yeah, let's just take this camera with us. No, wait. The people at the police station. Where's the Where's the gun in this? Oh, it says. Oh, okay. Top 10 most deadly anime weapons. Number 10. Chang with the photo with the that thing. Yeah. So
Fight Chang's in the middle of a gunfight. Chang sets it up. He's like, "Will you hold still and I'll take your picture?"
Okay. Yeah. So then we see Tintin and Chang. They're going back to the Shanghai. With Tintin broken arm, I think. Yeah. But then we see Timpson and Thompson on the back on another train, and psych, they're on the same train that Chang and Tintin are going on to that train. So they see each other and they're like, "Whoa, man! These are not some epic people. We need to run, Chang." And but Timpson falls down on the floor and breaks his nose and everything, so he gets carried away.
Well, actually, I think he tripped over a suitcase is what happened, because someone had left it in the door.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. So he when he wakes up at the infirmary, he's like, Tintin, go get Tintin. He's on the station. He was waiting for a train. And then Thompson's like, oh, I got off the train to Shanghai. Stop it. Tintin's like, oh no, you cannot run more. Then
in the panel where Tintin sees that Thompson is his coat is green for some reason, just for absolutely no reason. It's just randomly green.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah. So Thompson runs after the train, but when when there's this on the station, there's like the rails, and there's like it where you're supposed to like step onto the train. Then that stops, and then he breaks his nose and everything, just like his brother or twin or whatever they are. So like, mission not accomplished very much. But then we're back next day, and some people are waiting for Tintin on the station, but they don't seem to find him. So they tell Freddy, and he's there like, "Oh no, we didn't find him." It's like, whippersnappers. That, yeah. So they climb out of the station, and they blah 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 blah. And then we see Mitsuhirato guy. He's like, he has a friend. He's like, hey, Tintin in Shanghai. And he's been seen by a young Chinese guy. I do not know where he's going. So yeah, they're just, yeah. Tintin goes home to what did we call him actually? What did we call him? The father.
That's Mr. Wang.
Mr. Wang, yeah. So Tintin and Chang are home at Mr. Wang, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're home, Tintin, and your new friend Chang. Yeah, you should rest a few days since your arm is literally broken." A few weeks pass, and Chang is like, "Oh, how's your arm going?" Yeah.
I want to say that Tintin earlier in Tintin in America, for example, he gets in a horrible car accident. He spends 2 days in the hospital.
Yeah.
But in this, his shoulder, and he's out for a week.
Yep.
How does that work?
Yeah. It's pretty fast actually recovering from a broken arm. Yeah. So Tintin Tintin and Chang goes over to Mitsuhiratu's house to break in, and that doesn't seem illegal in there anyway. And so Chang, what?
Probably the least illegal thing he's done so far.
True. Chang's like, he's supposed to keep an eye out for people. So Tintin climbs in over the wall, and he climbs in a window, and it's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure what you're doing, Tintin?" Wait, what? Wait a minute.
It's Mitsuhiratu talking to his henchman.
Yeah, okay, so Mitsuhiratu is talking to his guy. He's like, "Are you sure that is where Tintin is?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And Tintin rushes out to Chang because he because he heard the Mitsuhirato guy that they're going to get the claws into Mr. Wang's flesh. That sounds pretty brutal, but yeah, so he wants to kill them or kidnap them or whatever. So Tintin rushes out to Chang, and they're like, "Run, dude, run! A car! We need to go with the car. And follow." I need to silence this. And drive to this location. Sorry, man. Sorry, Tintin. This is not a private. This is a private car. So he knocks him out and my car. Yoink! Another theft. So they rush over to Mr. Wang's house, and the lights shut off, and Tintin goes in with his gun, and everything's been broken down, and it's all horrible, and we're too late, and there's only one guy left, but he's not important. So Mitsuhirato has kidnapped Mr. Wang, his wife, and his son, the crazy son. But Yeah, but then Chang, yeah, we see another picture with Mitsudato that kidnapped them. Yeah, so Chang like finds this paper where it says Blue Lotus. Nice job, Chang. Because yeah, like the Blue Lotus with drug smoking place.
Mm-hmm.
So they drive over there, and we see a guy looking a lot like Tintin, with a big beard, black beard, and a brown coat ish, and he's like um the guy at the Blue Lotus. He's like, Mr. Mitsuhirato, this is Tintin. He's here. He's like, are you sure it's Tintin? Yes, I am sure. Um, he's tried to put on makeup and a beard, but it's and a weird hair thing. It didn't work. So Michu Hirato's like, like, yeah, plays on a flute or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And like the guy, he takes out his like gun and shoots up in the roof. It doesn't seem very safe. Like, yeah, so Mitsuhidato's like to the guy, "Hehe, you fool! You fell for the orders book on the trick." But the guy's like, I'm not Tintin. Why would I be Tintin? So he pulls in his beard. That's real. And he pulls in his hair. That's real too. Yeah. So the guy's like, it clearly wasn't Tintin. So he like rushes out and he like goes out and say, I am really mad right now, and I will file a report about this, saying how bad the Blue Lotus is.
One star Yelp.
What? Yeah. Yep. Google review. Yeah. So Mitsudato, he's like, I'm going home. Yamato, which is a helper guy, is called. We'll meet with the truck with at the package house number 9 tomorrow by night. Harika Mato is is anchored and linked by the side. You will get the products and shipments jump to the storage or whatever it is. So he like leaves, but Tintin, he's been hiding in a vase.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I have a story for another time. It's pretty funny about vases. Yeah. So Tintin, like, he overheard everything, and he's going out to saying like, I found this and this and this out, and we're going tomorrow midnight. We're going there. And Chang is like, no. Wait, no. Tintin is to Chang. No, you're not going, Chang. It's best I'll go alone. And next day at midnight, we see me being bad at going by pages. There's Tintin like sneaking up on them, and he's hiding in a barrel in the truck. Yeah. So oh god, this is a big section. Okay.
Get over.
Yeah.
If you want me to.
What?
If you want me to.
No. I'll do it. Oh god. Yeah. So Mr. Mitsudato is like to Mr. Wang. It was foolish of you to go over here. Very foolish. Now you're breathing your last breaths. And he's like, you're smiling. Do you think this is like some sort of joke? In this moment, Tintin is already in my power. You do not know how much power I contain. You fool. Yeah. So he's like, you can forfeit your hope, Mr. Wang. The Chinese are dead. The Chinese are not scared of dying. Yeah, so blah 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 blah. everything is going great. Hey Yamato, how's everything going? It's amazing. You can unbox the package right now. Mr. Wang, will you follow? Will you follow with us? So Yamato, the helper, he's like, oh, the guy that's supposed to help him. He's like, this is the barrel, chief. And Mitsuhirato, he opens the barrel and sees, oh, Mr. Tintin, you welcome. We're so happy to see you. Tintin is like, oh, I done goofed, don't I? And then Mitsuhirato goes on with his big plan, like, I knew you were in the Blue Lotus, right? You must have been had a good laugh about us not really doing our job. Blah 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 blah. Talk talk talk. And Rastapopoulos! Dun dun dun!
Wow, what a plot twist!
Totally didn't spoil that last from before. Yeah, and he's like, oh, Mr. Rastapopoulos. Roberto Rastapopoulos. If the plan has not been corrupted, Rastapopoulos is the leader of the national drug smuggling. Rastapopoulos, yeah. You thought, yep, something, something, something. Are you the chief of the group? Is that even possible? Then he like shows his like big like his big biceps with the cigar logo, like from last book. Shout out to the last book. You cannot shout out a last book, but yeah. Listen to that on the YouTube and SoundCloud, and remember to like and subscribe to this. Thank you for still listening. Do you like pizza? Cause we do. Yeah. So then Yamato lets the son of Mr. Wang's son, the crazy guy with the sword, and like the guy, do you know the way, man? Sorry for all the memes. Yeah. So he's like he's supposed to like kill Mr. Wang and his wife and Tintin. What a horrifying way to die.
Right?
Yeah, being killed by a guy who once saved you and your son twice. Yeah. Okay. So, but then someone shoots the son's sword, and it's Chang, and there's like a bunch of people, and all of them are under arrest. Like they're arresting all of them. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Can we just mention how Tintin gave Chang a gun, and Chang's probably like 10?
Yeah. That seems legal and not horrible or anything. Yeah. Yeah, so they're like, how Rastapopoulos and Mitsuhirato is like, oh, how did you do it? You fooled us. And they go on to like this big speech and everything. Blah 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 blah. And you explore the entire basement, and there's like a bunch of. It's like there's not really anything in, but then they come out of a bank save, yeah, thing, and it goes out to the Blue Lotus. So it is all connected, and everything is in the news, and they're like, blah 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 blah. I have good news. Mr. Wang is like to Tintin. I have good news. My son has been cured. Professor Fang. He's been very happy, and thank you. And then we see Tintin and Thompson. They're like, we are very sorry for trying to arrest you, like 2 times. And Freddy and what were they? What did we call his friend?
He was Gibbons, wasn't he?
Yeah, Gibbons, the fat European man. Fat shaming. Yeah, so Mitsuhirato has also been put to prison. And
exactly, Koso. Mitsuhirato kind of
Um, I do not know what that word is, in fact, but I will suppose it is not positive. I will
Looked it
go.
up. I
What?
looked it up and like it's really not.
Okay, I am curious. You are holding back my curiosity.
This is Thor.
Cool, so he offed himself.
No, oof, no. Ooh, please no. That is pretty sad. Yeah, so he technically gets sent to prison for lifetime. Okay, family friendly, PG clean. Okay, so they're like, oh, that's sad. He turns like to Timson Thompson. Oh, we're so happy that we're friends now. And they're like, why did you actually fall like that? They're like, fall? We didn't fall. What are you talking about? And they're like, oh wait, oh on Hukoi, yeah, we remember that. Amazing. And they're like, oh goodbye, Tintin, bye bye, and then they fall off the steps and break their noses again. And then Mr. Wang, I'm just going to read all of this. Mr. Wang goes on with Tintin like, we are gathered here today to bring a cheers for Tintin and his man and his heart worthy of pushing mountains and destroying them. We will have to say goodbye to him, sadly. But we have gotten a new soul, Chang, who sadly lost his parents, and we will gladly take him as a child, as a new child and new brother for my son. And then Mr. Wang's wife is like, Chang, why are you crying? And it is so sweet. He's like, it's the rainbow of my heart. I am crying tears of joy to have found a new mom and dad. So sweet. Yeah. So let's take a cheers for Tintin because he's so amazing. And then like the Chinese like, I hope I can see you again once, Tintin. And it's like toot because he's on the boat. And it's so sad. And Snowy's like goodbye, waving goodbye.
Yeah.
Whew. What a book. One of my favorite books, actually. Yeah. Okay, what do you think of this book?
Really fun. Kind of interesting with some of the crazy stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Enjoyable. And all the characters were really fun and stuff. So.
Yeah. Yeah, like, this is probably my favorite book. I haven't actually read all of them because I'm such a rich kid. But yeah, like, there's a lot of, like, colors and there's a lot of, like, mystery and you can go so in depth with it. And, like, those, like, big, texts and you can read all of it, how it all, like, was connected. But we didn't do that because we're lazy. We're just here to make fun of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
That
Okay.
wraps things up, huh?
Yeah, should I do that or will do you want to?
No, you can.
Okay. Yeah, so that was the Blue Lotus book of Tintin's adventures. Thank you so much for watching or listening. If you listen to all of it, thank you so much. You are a big part of this 10-man community. Or like, yeah. Links to everything, Tumblr, Reddit, and Soundcloud is in the description. Remember to like and subscribe. Hit that bell. You don't have to. We hopefully we can upload every Wednesday. don't mind the Wednesdays the second Wednesday before this. Don't question. Blame it on Mecca, not me. Okay, I was joined by Mecca
That's me.
and Melkai, who unfortunately couldn't join us here in the last pod. Yeah. Goodbye.